Hello my friends, Boomy here once again with another video for you, my SWTOR brothers and sisters. How's everyone doing today in a galaxy far, far, far? Oh, there's 10 reasons. Away. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button for all your SWTOR fun news, guides, and updates right here, right now, my friends. I said a while ago that I would probably be doing a video about this. Now hang on to your skirts because this one might get a little spicy. We're going to go over the top 10 things Broadsword, SWTOR, Star Wars The Old Republic can do to save the game, to make the game better, to bring back more people, and to retain the loyal, passionate fans and community that it has. So, without further ado, let's do this. Let's get to number 10. So let's talk about graphics a little bit, right? So, okay, the graphics in this game they're not horribly horrible. They really aren't. But ever since the beginning of Star Wars The Old Republic, when it first came out, people had some complaints. Thought it was a bit cartoony, a bit muddy when it came to textures of the characters themselves. I personally thought it was a step above World of Warcraft at the time and what was going on when I got into the game about, 2012? And it just really hasn't aged as well as, say, some other games have. I mean, they were always going to go through moments like this in a video game, in an MMO, where the graphics just, at a certain point, especially with the hero engine, are just not going to hold up to what is happening in 2023 when it comes to graphics. Now, I will say that World of Warcraft has come a bit of a long way and is updating its stuff, and the graphics definitely have changed a bit here and there, but there still really isn't a lot one can do, especially with a very old engine like the hero engine that Star Wars The Old Republic is built upon. Now, yes, they are doing some things behind the scenes, and yes, they did reveal that they are changing the lighting within, especially the questing cinematics of the game, and party on to Broadsword and BioWare, because they started doing that before they went to Broadsword, for doing that and updating things behind the scenes and giving us things, especially that are coming in 7.4. This is great. Now, especially with some of the technology that they have with the cloud, they're probably, hopefully, will be able to do a lot more, but who knows? They're still dealing with an older engine for this game. Now, they have said in recent posts that they are working on new tech for the game, and right now I think what we're going to see is a slow crawl for this game, for the technology, so we're just going to have to sit back and just, relax a little bit and see where we're going. I've seen some very bad graphics in games. SWTOR is not the worst, but yes, it is showing its age, and yes, it does have more to do. Number 9. Open world! Oh my goodness, this has been a big complaint of mine ever since I started playing the game. Now, I come from World of Warcraft, where the world is open. It is open for you to explore and find all the Easter eggs and things that the devs have put into the game. And there are tons of Easter eggs that the devs have put in World of Warcraft, especially the creepy Children of the Corn type people who go around doing rituals and stuff. That's not weird. But they have it in the game, and that is one thing I wish SWTOR would have done, and I really kind of hope that they would do in the future is make the worlds that we go to more open. Something for more, give us more to explore outside of just datacrons, which is fun to do. I like looking and hunting for a datacron, but I want to be able to go and explore more, especially on Korriban. It's like the Valley of the freaking Kings. There are so many Sith Lords to go and explore, and I just wish you could be able to do that without having to run into slugs all the time and have to fight. It's like, why am I even here right now? But I think that is one of the things that is kind of a drawback to Star Wars The Old Republic is the fact that it isn't open world. It's kind of on rails in a sense. You can only go certain places and that's it. Because you're on a planet. Obviously, it's a very, very small planet that you're on in Star Wars The Old Republic, but either way, you're on a planet, so you would think you'd be able to go and explore all the things. But you can't do that. And I get it, there are some limitations. That's how they wanted the game designed. But I feel like MMOs like World of Warcraft, Black Desert Online, Elder Scrolls, those games. But I feel like open world type games like World of Warcraft and the Black Desert Online, the community likes it a lot more when there's more to do, especially for those of us who love to explore, who love to go adventuring, who squirrel all the time and see the shiny object and they want to go find that. I remember there being not even a quest, but a thing for you to find in World of Warcraft in a shell. Yes, in a big old clamshell in the ocean, because you can explore said oceans and they put stuff down there. And I believe you got like a pet or a mini or a game or a toy from it. It's been a long time, I forgot, but I loved doing that. I love looking in the water, especially in the oceans or in a deep lake and whatnot, and going, I wonder what's down there. I wonder what kind of cool Easter eggs they have for us to explore. I think this is something SWTOR should get on, and I think this is a giant missed opportunity on their behalf. Number 8. That's how I do my 3s, okay, whatever. PvP and GSF, which is kind of like the same thing, but in space. It is what it is. You're a fighter. You're doing your things there. What can I say about PvP? Every game known to man that has a PvP element outside of Apex Legends and, Overwatch 1 and 2, RIP. Outside of those, in an MMO, like World of Warcraft, Star Wars The Old Republic, Destiny, PvP is always... Destiny? What am I talking about? Black Desert Online. PvP is a big thing, and there are some loyal niche people who love the PvP, but PvP, especially in Star Wars The Old Republic and GSF, aren't really given all the love that one would think they should give. Now, PvP doesn't get the love it deserves in general, so this is not going to be a long one on this one. But if they would just bring a little bit more, I think we got a map a couple years ago, brand new to GSF, and it was pretty cool. I got lost a lot because there's a lot of space junk up there, and I love GSF. I'm not the biggest PvPer in the world, but GSF, I'm there all day. But I think if they focus and put a little bit more love into PvP, you might make some people there happy. Number 7. Yeah, that's right. Number 7, this might be controversial. People might be like, Boomy, what are you talking about? But I think when it comes to free-to-play, which happened, not too long after the game launched in 2011. I believe it was 2013 the game went free-to-play. I think now that it's at Broadsword, and we're probably going to get a lot more microtransactions. Thank you, EA. I really think that we need to look at free-to-play as not so much as the enemy, but as something that could save the game, open its doors more to people. And I know people are going to say, but it already does, Boomy, duh. No, what I'm talking about is a Star Trek Online type free-to-play, which is everything is pretty much open to you. You're not gated. I don't think we should be gating free-to-play anymore. I don't think you should be gating armor. I don't think you should be gating how many times they can do this, gating this or that. No, I think free-to-play should be able to free-to-play. And the money that is made will come from microtransactions, the cartel market, bundles, this, that, or the other thing. But we still have the subscription, which means you still get cartel coins and some probably other perks that they can attach to that as well. But I think free-to-play without gating is honestly probably the future of this game, and it would not shock me if they make an announcement soon down the road that is what's going to happen. Now, one thing I think they can do to generate a lot of cash really early on is something that Star Trek Online does, is they have a lifetime membership. Now, if you get into SWTOR right now, you do a lifetime membership. I'm not sure if there's a sale going on, but the regular price is about $300. That's a one-time fee, $300. You are a subscriber for life, no more monthly payments. You get out of the cartel coin, or Zen as they call it, and you actually get in SWTOR a pretty cool starbase to go to that only lifetime subscribers can go to. Plus, you get a ship with all kinds of cool technology on it. But I think it'd be something cool for Star Wars The Old Republic to look into. They have a lifetime subscriber type metric to it. I believe in SWTOR, it's $150 if it's on sale. Yes, that's a lot of money, but at the same time, how much money are you spending a year being a subscriber? If you were able just to put it down in one lump sum, party on, that's almost in itself a quick cash cow for Star Wars The Old Republic, for Broadsword, but I think that is a good way to go for this game. Number 6. Now, this one's going to get spicy too. I honestly say that with knowing what I'm getting myself into, and I'm a positive critiquer of Star Wars The Old Republic because I have skin in the game and I played. And yeah, so back to basics. It's a freaking Star Wars game. Good versus evil, Sith versus Jedi, light versus dark. That's what this game is about. It's about the adventure. It's about all the things that come with it. But even since day one, and this is when I'm like, dude, just keep this crap out of games. Gamers just want a game. We don't care about what's going on in the world. We want to get lost in a different reality. But this game has, since day one, has been a bit preachy about things. And it didn't help that at the very beginning, one of the main story people, Jennifer Helper, pretty much came out saying, hey, I don't really play video games. I'm pretty much just here to make sure I can get the LGBTQ plus whatever it is now point of view across in story. And I will be honest, part of me is like, okay, I don't really care. But when you have, I think this it's not necessarily what what they're putting into the story. Now, I know some people aren't the biggest fans, and that's cool, but you literally can play your character however you want to play it. So to me, I honestly don't care. You be you. I love who you want to love, just don't hurt anyone. But this right here tells me they weren't really focusing on what needs to be focused on in this game when it comes to story. When people are too worried about coming into a game like, we need to get these certain qualifications into a game to appease everyone. I have an idea. Just make a good game. Write great story for the game. And give us characters we'll relate to, no matter who they might love or whatnot, because honestly, that's a tertiary issue, and a lot of us just don't care. Just the moment we feel like it's being pushed, that's when you have a part of a community starting to back off and push back. But what I'm saying is, this is a problem when you have people who work on a game who don't actually play the game, who don't actually play video games, but they have a story narrative they want to get across, right? They have a certain philosophy they want to get across. Now, every game in existence can be faulted with this and is guilty of this, but never so much so in your face. And this game is not as in your face as some other games have been. But I'm just saying, for this one right here, this is kind of shows you kind of where it started. But honestly, for the most part, Charles, being the lead story director at that time, nailed this game at the very beginning, knocked it out of the park. But there's always been that underlying kind of like, what are you doing with the story? Is this Star Wars? Or is this the love connection? I'm not quite sure what's happening. Number 5. Now, this is something people in my comment section are constantly asking about and constantly saying, Boomy, this is what must be done to save the game. Bring it to console, PS4, Xbox, whatever number it's on at the moment, or letter. I don't know what it is. I don't play console. I'm a PC Master Race kind of girl. But people want this game to come to console. Like, literally, almost every video I do, that is going to be in my comment section. And that's okay. I think it'd be amazing if this game came to console. However, when it comes to an MMO, now Star Trek Online, that is a game that is on console. I will say that. They did the work and it's there. And their team's not exactly that large. It really isn't. It's a small team doing Star Trek Online. So when it comes to Star Wars The Old Republic, there's a lot of bloat, there's a lot of buttons, there's just a lot of things to be able to translate it to being able to play it on console. And so I see where the giant uphill battle for that is. But when it comes to games like Star Trek Online, who have button bloat, who have a lot of things going off here and there in the other world, that just tells me right there, it can be done if you are willing to put the investment and energy into doing that. Now, the true question is, does Broadsword have that energy and willing to invest its time and resources into doing that? I think bringing this game to console would be opening up a big door for a lot of people to get in. And I honestly think if you tie it with being completely free to play, you will see a mass immigration to this game. Number 4. Class stories. This, outside of Boomy, we want this game to be on console. Everyone wants class stories to return. We want to be able to move forward with our class stories. And the class stories kind of stopped on Rishi, which I believe was around the last great expansion of this game, Shadows of Revan. But Rishi, in that expansion, that's pretty much where our class stories ended. That's where they stopped. And we really didn't get much more after that when it came to our class stories, if at all. But when it comes to the community and what they want the most, it's not graphics. It's not PvP. It's not better operations. Is that no? They want class story to return because they have fallen in love with that, and that's what this game started with. And part of the hype for it was its individual class stories. Now, yes, the consular, that you have to get past chapter 1 for it to actually start moving a little faster. It's actually not that bad once you get near the end. So if you're playing a consular for the first time, just, you got this. Get past chapter 1, you'll be fine. But this is what this game is kind of built on, your class stories. And that kind of died and became more RPG, came more of almost a singular type narrative. Not necessarily singular, but when the class stories stopped, when they stopped producing more class stories, the game, in a sense, kind of lost its heart. And a lot of people are yearning for us to have a continuation, almost a new breath for the class stories in this game. And I do too. I've done all the class stories. I loved them all. You know, even the consular story, even the trooper, which I wasn't the biggest fan of either. But we need class stories to come back. Plain and simple. If they came out and said, the guys were working on class stories to a continuation for you guys to go, you've been doing all this stuff in the universe, you're the Outlander, you're Commander Flip-Flopper, who you are the top dog unless you're sweeping up dishes and sweeping up the ground in someone's cafe, because that's just what you do. We're going to continue class stories. I think if they announced that, there would be like celebrating in the streets somewhere, but there would be celebrating. But we need to bring class stories back. They're integral to this game, and I'm really sad that they even ended them and aren't really working on it, but I really wish they would. Number 3, content. Dear God, we want some content in this game. Now, from 2011 up until Shadows of Revan, we got content. Yes, even the rise of the Hutt cartel, which was kind of met with, what is this? We had content, we had expansions, we had places to explore. Yes, it's amazing, it's great. However, we really haven't gotten that lately in the last couple expansions with Onslaught and Legacy of the Sith. Back in the day with, I remember really like Shadows of Revan, you were playing that expansion for hours and hours and hours. You're just waiting for the next update because, like, oh my gosh, where's this going to go? What's Darth Maul going to do? Who's this Lana chicken? Why is she so hot? Who's Theron Shan? And why is his hair so perfect? We wanted to keep playing. There is so much to do in that expansion. And then we got Knights of the Eternal Empire and Knights of the Fallen Empire, and we had the family stuff there. And I actually kind of liked those expansions. I liked how they paced them out. Once a month, they got a new update. I was okay with that. There was actually stuff to do. The stupid robot soldiers pissed me off, that's for sure. But other than that, I fell in love with the Darth Sithtress, and I know she's crazy, but hey, you want my number? But still, I enjoyed those expansions. But then Onslaught came out. Onslaught was announced. I was there at the Cantina in Chicago when it was announced. Hell, I even live streamed it. It's somewhere on this channel somewhere. I was there and I was excited because I had done a video before saying this is what I think we should do for next expansion. And then we had Onslaught. I'm thinking, yes, we're going to get like an actual expansion. More planets, plural, to go to. Quest lines to go to. Side quests to enjoy that meet up with the main quest. Plot line of the game. And then we got Onslaught. And within 45 minutes, we were all done. We were all done with Onslaught. We were all done with all the things in Onslaught. And we were all kind of like just sitting back and wondering, what did we get? They changed gearing up, which no one asked for. They changed a couple things up, which no one asked for. And they did something with UI here and there where people were like, okay, that was cool. But everything else, people were like, why are you doing this? And then Legacy of the Sith came along. And we got about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe, of content and gameplay. And then we got some dailies here and there. But as a dev said, dailies are just a lazy dev's way of creating content because they're not overly complicated to do, and you're not creating tons of worlds. You're just shoving everyone in a space, and you're making them go repeat quests here and there for reputation and rewards. Yes, it takes work to do, but it's not like actually putting out brand new side quests, brand new main quests to go in and drawing out the storyline of the game, where instead instead of doing 40 to 45 minutes of content, you're doing hours of content in the game. And then, yeah, daily somewhere on the side. That's fine. I have no problem with dailies. But when you only give us a little bit and go like, well, you got some dailies, you'll be awesome, you'll be set till the next patch. I think a lot of people are like, no, we don't. Honestly, I used to love dailies, and I'm totally burnt out on dailies. I can't even talk about it. But when it comes to Legacy of the Sith, what do we get? We get Legacy of the Sith. But what is their legacy? What is going on? Does anyone know? We get characters no one really can remember. Now, I'm not saying everyone. There are people who remember, like Shahar and that other person. But we're getting, like, story has really gone downhill to the point where there's no one really they're not memorable. These new characters aren't memorable. We're bringing back Malgipu, who I totally align with now 100%. I'm like, free the guy, let him lead everything. We'll be fine. Don't worry about that. But now we have, it's called Legacy of the Sith, but what are the Sith and Jedi really doing? Nothing. Out of nowhere, here comes the Mandalorians, and they've taken over the storyline. And anything with, like, the Jedi and the Force, that's kind of like in the background. So I'm like, why can't it just be called Legacy of Shea Vizsla or Legacy of the Mandalorian? I think that would be better with what we're currently having to deal with now. And they're just, to me, honestly, I've seen any comments below and I've talked to other people, the writing for especially this expansion has just kind of seemed very lazy. And just like, you're not quite sure what exactly is going on in this game. And you're still sitting there going like, so Malgus is still on the throne, right? So what's going on and why are we drawing this out? Now, I know we have more patches coming our way. I believe they announced 7.4. Yay, 5 and 6. Oh, okay. And then we have 8.0, and God knows what that's going to be. But they're just going to keep drawing it out, which part of me is like, okay, you just moved to a new studio. You had your team almost slashed in half, and you've got a lot of parts to pick up. You're moving in. You're putting all your toys on your desk. Party on. I get that. So I think a little grace needs to be given when it comes to that part. But I think to really save this game is we need an actual expansion with more planets, more things to do, more operations, more flashpoints, something to keep us interested and invested in this game. When we're just given like a content patch and it's called an expansion and we're done within a half an hour to 45 minutes, people tend to walk away. Now, if Broadsword and SWTOR would just come out and say, hey, our expansion is going to be a lot smaller, this is what it's going to be, I think people will, would be more positive when it comes to that there. But right now, because they're not really saying that, we're just kind of like, well, is this going to be another 30 minutes of my time just wasted? I can go waste that time in another game that has tons and tons and hours of things to do. That's kind of like where I sit. I go in, I do it, I'm like, okay, that's it. Well, there's not much else to do. I'm out. Bye. They need to bring more content to the game. Number 2. So, story. It feeds into content. It feeds into what we've been talking about. This is a Star Wars game based in a Star Wars universe. It's the Old Republic. Richer than, if I might say, the first trilogy. And anything that came before and after. But the Old Republic, it's a time of thousands of Jedi and thousands of Sith. I've said this before. The dark side seems a bit darker, and the Jedi are just kind of rebuilding very slowly, I might add, but they're still rebuilding. And everything's gone to crap because the Emperor had a thing and he became another thing and destroyed all the things. But still, the Old Republic is rich with story and just there's so much one could do, so much opportunity good story writers can do with this, and go in and delve into some of the very ancient Sith, the very ancient Jedi, and just get in there and create even more stories. I'm talking about past Revan. I'm talking about like going like back in the day, Tulak Horde type stuff right there. Further, I would love if they just delved in and this great ancient evil from God knows when just came back. It would make the Emperor himself like run away because, oh my God, he's scared. And yeah, because that guy's so scary. I would love to see I would love to see Darth Jadis come back, because I honestly feel to this day that his story was never actually done. I'm like, is he dead? Is he actually dead? Is he really dead? No, I think he's alive. I think he's just hiding to come back. I would love to see Jadis come back. Jadis was probably one of my favorite, outside of Darth Maul, favorite Darths when it comes to class stories, when it comes to Star Wars The Old Republic. I love Jadis. I would love to see him come back. But story, we need something we can sink our teeth in. We need characters that we can relate to, that we are drawn to, that we are... When we finish a patch, we're just sitting there going, man, when's the next patch? I want to see where the story goes. Because right now, a lot of us are sitting here going like, I honestly don't care where the story goes. I just want to finish it so we see what 8.0 might be. I feel, and I know I'm not the only one who feels that way about the game. So we need some good stories, something we can really sink our teeth into. That's what this game needs. And number one, the biggest, most important thing ever in life, and especially to this game, communication/marketing. Communication has been a sticky subject in this game with BioWare and with EA. And I have been on both sides of the curtain, and I've seen communication come and go. Now, when the game first launched, and right before it first launched, there's tons of communication. Videos are coming out. The devs are talking about this, which is typical for a big game coming out. They want you to get excited. They want you to get hyped. Hell, even Ghostcrawler, Greg Street, with his brand new gaming company, which I will be doing a reaction video to someday soon. Their game's not even in alpha yet, and they came out and announced their brand new MMO, and I got excited about it. I love that. Communication is key, and something that I really feel and have seen that SWTOR doesn't do well at all with is communication. We're promised streams. Do we get some streams? And we get some roadmaps, and then the roadmaps die, and then the streams go away. You don't really play with the devs anymore. I miss seeing Eric Musco out there on his tunes, just running around Fleet or doing PvP. I thought that was great. That's great. You want your community to be there with your dev team and just knowing that your dev team plays the game. We love that. We want that. But when it comes to communication, when there's not a lot of communication, when you go onto the forums, like, well, there's not much here. And I will say, I will admit, communication has gotten a lot better in the last year when it comes to this team. So kudos to you guys for that. But in years past, and not so distant, communication has been abysmal for this game. And when you aren't communicating, people in the community tend to walk away, and they want to go to a game where they know the dev team's going to be there for them. They're actually going to hear from the dev team. There isn't a day that goes by that my phone isn't dinging because there's more news coming out about World of Warcraft. There's more blue posts coming out about World of Warcraft. There's more stuff coming out about Elder Scrolls. There's more stuff coming about this, that, or the other thing. But then there's SWTOR, and in the past it's been a very small trickle of information, and sometimes there wouldn't be jack for months. And I understand there's going to be droughts, there's a lot of things you can and cannot say, but you want to still be out there to communicate. And I will, like I said, I will give big kudos to Jackie, who is the community manager, who is constantly communicating and delving in with the community. I love that. I think she's doing a great job. Eric Musco pretty much did the same thing, and all the other ones kind of did the same thing, but then it kind of died out. And then there was some drama, which I can't talk about, and then it got a lot better. And I think we're kind of like in the better stage. But we would love to hear more. Especially we would love to hear from Broadsword directly on video, not just a letter. Because I've been on Broadsword's website, and Broadsword's website is very, well, Star Wars The Old Republic is up there, but they haven't changed the amount of people that work there, and they're still looking for an engineer who can do engineering for them. But there's no other slots open. But we would love to hear from Broadsword themselves, not in letters, but on video, on stream. That's what we would love to hear. We'd love to hear what they have to say about the future of SWTOR, not platitudes. Tell us what is going on and what is actually going to happen. That's what we want to know. In marketing, what marketing? Outside of the first video you saw in the background probably here in this video, There hasn't been much marketing at all for Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is a loss, a giant lost opportunity, especially a couple years ago when everything was Star Wars. Star Wars was being shoved in our face, and yeah, it was Star Wars. And I was saying to videos and talking to friends going, this is the time to market the poop out of this game because it needs to ride the Star Wars wave. Even though there is a great division within the Star Wars community, it still would have been a good time to get more eyes on this game, but that did not happen. A missed opportunity. Not saying it's the developer's fault, more like it's from EA and the big wigs at BioWare, because I do know for a fact that a lot of decisions were made by the top brass of BioWare and EA, and not the developers on Star Wars: The Old Republic. So, but Jackie did say, as you'll see right here, that they are doing something with marketing, that they're reaching out to the people. However, I've yet to see anything about that, and the Apex server launched last week. So, yeah, and if you guys have seen it, let me know. Email me, put it in the comment section below. I would love to see it. Yeah, we need more. That's what we need. We need more. So there you have it, my friends. In conclusion, you've heard all the things, the top 10 things they could do to save this game, make it more popular, get people to just play the damn game. At the end of the day, communication is key. We need more content. That's what we need. We need to hear more from Broadsword. We need to hear more about what is actually going on outside of just like surface level content, surface level communication. We need to know a lot more, and a lot of people are very excited about Broadsword, and those same people also very trepidatious when it comes to this game. This game went really high when it came out, and then it just did not really recover that well. It was supposed to be the WoW killer, and again, World of Warcraft is still on top right now. It's doing its thing. Looks like the Renaissance age for World of Warcraft is coming just around the corner. And Star Wars: The Old Republic was sent to Broadsword. Yeah. Another mismanagement, I honestly believe, from BioWare and from EA. That is my honest opinion on that one. But I do think this game is savable. I think this game is still incredible. There's a lot of history and stuff and story in this game we can delve into and get into. We just need to have the right people in the right places to be willing to invest that time, energy, and yes, money to bring that to life. Anyways, my friends, put your comments in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on all these things. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. Make sure you hit the like button, because the more likes you get, the more the algorithm likes us and it reaches out to a lot more people. Make sure you hit the bell notification and share the poop out of this thing. You know you want to do it. My beard wants you to do it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Become part of the family here at BoomyNation, the freak show YouTube, the black sheep of gaming. And as always, my friends, remember to be kind. It's about community, and don't forget to spay and neuter your Wookiee. And we'll see you later, my friends. Good day.